Welcome to day 3 of a new season of ASL. I am Nyoken, joined by Scan again, and today's, my opinion, one of the best groups in all of the round of 24. We've got Queen, Miso, Sharp, and Royal. Let's get into their interviews.
Yeah, welcome back once again. This is the group stage 2, ASL Season 14 Round of 24 Group C. And like how Nyoken mentioned, we have lots of strong players in this group. I'm going to be expecting of the one of these groups is kind of like a death group in my opinion. And we're going to the interview here. Queen, Miso, Sharp, Royal, how are you guys doing? Queen, it's been a long time that you have not played the ASL qualifier for a long time because you were always stayed on a seated player.
24강 거의 2년 만이시지 않나요?
네, 진짜 너무 오랜만이고 24강
it must be more than or almost 2 years long that you did not play on round of 24. How do you feel?
근데 단판이라서 오히려
So Queen is saying it's kind of feeling something fresh, something new, but he is somewhat scared to play the game because everything is best of 1 in round of 24. So since it's ZVZ, Miso is also good at ZVZ, so somewhat having pressure to play against him.
그 기회가 오늘 찾아왔다.
네, 오늘 혼내주려고요.
So Queen is saying that Miso is also in one of the team, the university team, NSU, and he heard that he's having lots of confidence recently, so he kind of wants to put his confidence down, or bring his confidence down.
이번에 최근에 다들 대학교라는 그런 거에 소속이 돼 있어가지고 다들 응원을 많이 받는데 저는 지금 소속이 없어서
he was in JSA, but now he's not. He doesn't belong in anywhere.
좀 아쉽기는 해요 그것도.
He feels somewhat
오늘 멋진 경기 보여주신다면 김명호 선수가
unfortunate for him
많은 분들이 찾아주실 것 같은데
there are not much of teammates nor fans who will be cheering for him.
오랜만에 또 본선 무대에서 뵙게 된
Miso,
것 같습니다. 24강 경기
we haven't seen you
오랜만에
for a while. Probably about a year or so.
그 오랜만에 올라왔는데 1차전 상대가 명훈이 형이잖아요. 근데
So Miso is saying that the day 1 qualifier
게 저저전이거든요.
he played against Queen,
하고 할만할 것 같아서
and he's kind of feeling
어깨가 한껏
great to play against Queen because he's very confident to play ZVZ matchup, and glad to see him again in round of 24. Not sure whether he won in the ASL qualifier against Queen, but he kind of wants to play against him in best of 1 series.
작게 만들겠습니다.
So Miso is pretty much provoking about Queen's height. Queen's height is not too high, so he kind of wants it to make it more short.
이제 조지명식은 선두열을 보고 싶다라는 팬분들의 생각이 좀 많으시거든요. 어떠세요?
일단 24강은 자주 올라왔는데 16강은 한 번밖에 못 올라갔어요. 그래가지고
So the caster asked him. He usually comes to Miso usually comes to play in round of 24, but he always he didn't get it into round of 16. And Miso kind of wants to make it into round of 16. Kind of wants to change his new record, like a new career. So he'll try his best. And Sharp is also saying he did not make it into ASL Season 13. He got eliminated in the qualifier. He was very upset with it. But now he's kind of happy to be in here, playing in a round of 24 in Season 14. And he's also saying something about the school.
조기석 선수들 팬분들의 응원에 굉장히
He was saying something about the school. The school, his team, NSU.
자주 가던 연속으로 진출했던 조기석 선수가
NSU team wasn't doing great. That wasn't having a great result in a team battle.
일단은 솔직히 이제 조가 딱 나오고 진짜
He's so happy with teammates supporting for him and school being alive. Because whenever the team is losing, some of the teams just decides to disband the team, but they're still in the team. He's happy with it.
자, 또 한 명의 강한 테란 김지성 선수와도 이야기
So
나눠보겠습니다.
since he was having
안녕하세요.
a season break from previous season,
축하드립니다.
he prepared a lot for this season. He will play really well this season
즐기시진
on this
못하셨을 것 같은데 오늘
round
좀
of 24 group
컨디션은
stage.
어떠세요?
And Royal, how are you doing?
어제 생일인데도 이제 집에서
So Royal is saying
그렇긴 했는데 그래도
yesterday it was his birthday, but he didn't really celebrate his birthday. He was playing lots of practice game with his partner,
아 근데 요새
lots of StarCraft.
게임을 진짜 너무 많이 했더니 좀 피곤하긴 한데 근데 별
He
영향
feels
없어서
somewhat exhausted because he plays so much of a game, so much of games, and
거의 1경기를
he kind of thinks that it's not gonna affect him so much to play on this round of 24.
조기석 선수는 조를 딱 받아들었을 때 아 좀 힘들다.
So Royal is saying that he did not have much of a thought of looking at this round of 24 group.
저도 사실 제가 예전에 두열형한테도 대회에서 한번 진 적이 있었거든요.
So Royal is saying that he lost to Miso
다들 좀
before.
생각해요. 저는 그래서 방심 안 하고 하려고요.
So he's not gonna be letting his guard down, not going to underestimate any of these three players. He'll play just like a solid play style, like how Flash was playing.
저그 대 테란의 트렌드에 대한 생각 또 플레이하면서 어떤 부분이
So it's
좀
one of the question
어려운지 궁금하신 것
to
같더라고요. 김명훈 선수는 어떠세요?
I think it's a question to everyone. What do you think of this the recent ZVT?
항상
like the
맵이
meta
문제라고
switches.
생각을 해요. 예, 근데
And
맵이
Queen is
점점
saying-
테란한테 조금씩 힘을 실어주지 않나.
Queen is saying something about the map.
생각이
The map
있어요.
makers
한두열
are
선수
deciding to,
동의하는 듯한 고개를 끄덕임이 좀
add some
보였는데
advantage side for
어때요?
Terran.
생각이 같으신가요?
아니 어제
네네.
So it
제동혁이랑
feels like
연습했는데
somewhat
제동혁도
difficult to
똑같은
play
얘기가
against
하더라고요. 그러니까 맵이
Terran.
이게 예전에는
Compared to the
미네랄
old
9덩이,
map.
7덩이가 정석이었는데 지금 미네랄이 좀 많아졌어요.
So Miso is also saying he kind of agrees with it.
예전에
And
그래가지고
he was also looking at JD's stream.
좀 빡세지
JD is
않을까.
also
네,
struggling to
그런
play
생각이
ZVT.
드네요. 트렌드는 똑같다 생각해요.
And
저그 선수들이 좀 힘들다라고
he's talking about the
생각하면서
mineral
김지성
patch.
선수는
The main base has
테란으로
9 mineral
어떠세요?
field, but
저는 저그들이
if you look at the
그냥
classic map,
똑같이
the main base and the
트렌드
natural
하면서
are
저그
9
하는 게
mineral
이해가
at the
안
main,
되거든요.
7 mineral fields at the natural, but nowadays they are always adding the bonus mineral field at the natural, so it kind of changed the playstyle for Terran and having all those eco boosts in the early stage of the game, so it feels somewhat uncomfortable for Zerg players to play against Terran. And Royal is saying
저그들이 양심이 없다고 생각해요. 왜냐면은
Royal was kind of disagree with their opinion,
괜히 뭐 이제
and Sharp
맵 징징하는 것 같아요.
is
이 종족 선수들 간의
Sharp
신경전도
is
굉장히
also agreeing with
팽팽한데요.
Royal.
다음 질문도 좀 전해드리겠습니다.
and they're not
시선을 많은
Zerg
분들이
players are not
좀
being honest because
자체다라고 많이들
Zerg players
말씀을
are
하고
always
계십니다.
looking
모두가
forward
강점
with the
하나를 가지고
optimization
있는
with
게
like how
아닐까
drones are
싶은데요.
mining mineral
선수들이
boost and something like that,
생각하는 또
and
시조는
having
어떨지도
an
궁금해요.
absolute
뭐
madness of Mura Micro and just
모아놓기는
pretty much
했더라고요.
beating
근데 뭐
Terran all the time, so
24강은 되게 오랜만이어서 잘 모르겠고 16강
Those kind of changes don't matter
괜찮다고 생각을
in his
했거든요.
opinion.
예, 솔직히
And
저희
it's a
레벨
question to
16강 가면은
Queen.
서로 찍으려고 안달날 선수들이라고
Do you
생각을
think
하기
this
때문에
group C
이
of this round of 24 is the
괜찮지
death
않나
group?
싶어요.
그렇다면 김명훈 선수가 생각하는 오늘 두 명의
I think he
어떤
said
선수일까요?
he kind of agrees with it,
일단
but
저는
it's somewhat doable
올라가고
for him to make it into
싶고요.
round of
예, 올라갈
16.
생각이고 두 명 중에 한 명이 아닐까.
어...
다들 그렇게 생각하실 것 같아요.
네, 김명훈 선수의 생각까지 한번 들어봤고 다음 질문은 조기석 한두열 선수에게 좀 드릴 텐데요. 두 분이 현재 NSU라는 한 대학에 함께
So
속해 계시는데
question to both of the
옛날
players, Miso and Sharp.
시절에
Both of them are in the
같은
team
팀과의 개인기를
NSU,
조금
NSU school.
부각시켜하는 그런 부분들도 있었을 텐데 소위 말하는 이 팀킬 상황이 나왔을 때 좀 어떤지도 물어보셨어요.
So it's talking about the team kill.
남인데요.
Since they're both in the same group, they might have to play each other, or they might not going to be playing each other.
그냥
So
찍어 눌러야 하는. 네.
what do you guys think about killing each other in the round of 24 of this double elimination?
조기석 선수도
And
같은
he says,
생각이신가요?
whenever you're playing on an individual tournament,
그냥
then
게임에만 생각하기로 했어요.
every one of the players
그렇지,
are
같은
pretty
대학에
much
속해
strangers.
있는 동료들만이
You don't think about
어떤
teammates.
선수를 응원해야 될지 조금은 고민을 하고 있을까요?
You have to play
아,
what you have
일단은
to play.
그 지성이야 이제 명훈이
What you need to play.
형보다는 응원을 하지만
And
일단 뭐 먹고 살려면 제가 우선이지 않겠습니까? 예, 그렇기 때문에 뭐 별다른 건 없어요.
Yeah, Miso seems careless.
C조에서 나에게 달달한 승리를
Not much of a having
가져다 줄
feeling
것
if
같은
they get to play
상대는
each other.
누가 될지 물어봐 주셨습니다.
오늘
So who is the sweetest player to play against in the round of 24 of this Group C? And Miso said he wants to play against Queen. He wants to play against Queen. Also in a decider match as well.
두번 지면은 동굴 들어간다는
He wants to take him down 2-0.
이기겠습니다.
The first game and or either of the decider match.
동물행이 걸려 있는 오늘 경기 기대하겠습니다. 한두열 선수.
오랜만에
So
24강인데
any last word? Queen said he kinda wants Miso to
기대하겠습니다. 네,
bring his confidence
이번에
down.
NSU로 이제 학생 이제
And Miso said he will try his best.
선수로 임명하게 되었는데 이번에
So Sharp is saying,
학교 이상을 넓히겠습니다.
Sharp joined NSU team recently. He will show how strong he is in this ASL Season 14. Please root for him and
구매주로 일컬어지는
he will try his
24강
best.
시조 경기 과연 어떤 선수가 좋은 모습 보여줄지 기대하겠습니다.
Bro
인터뷰
seems
고맙습니다.
exhausted, but he's pretty much said the same thing, just like how
나이 레벨은
what
다르다 어느
Sharp
레벨
said.
학식대와 함께하는
And that was the
24강 시조 경기
Ask
과연
ASL event
16강으로 향할
of
두 명의 선수는
Africa.
누가 될지
That
지금부터
if you guys want
경기 함께
to ask some question to your favorite player, go to Africa mainstream ASL mainstream platform, leave a comment there.
Great, thank you, Scan, for the translation. It's always funny to see the players talk about, oh, Terran Zimba. No, Zerg Zimba. Seems like we have conflicting opinions from both sides here. Our first map is, of course, Butter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Butter first came out, I saw a lot of people going mech play there. But now that it's been out a while, you think that we're going to see more normal play? Because Sharp and, well, I guess Royal can play mech, but Sharp doesn't really strike me as somebody that plays mech that often.
No, I don't think Sharp plays mech at all, but Royal, he's very stylish in my opinion. I mean, sometimes if he even commits to go for a BBS with the Proxy 2 racks at the center of the map and go for a complete all-in build. But I don't think we're going to be seeing Terran vs Zerg matchup on Butter, because we can see both of the games are going to be mirror matchup on Butter, ZVZ and TVT. And this is the round of 24 group, and we are seeing today's game will be Queen versus Miso, Sharp versus Royal. Who's going to be making it to round of 16, Nyoken, with your opinion, your expectation?
Well, my opinion is Royal. He's my go-to in this group. But then, you know, you've got Queen and Sharp also. And as I've stated before, Sharp, he by far, his best matchup, in my opinion, is Terran versus Terran. So there could definitely be a world where Sharp gets out in first place. I think his TVZ is no slouch either. But if I'm going to bet on one person, it has to be Royal.
So from this the banner, what we're seeing, the key point of this group C, it shows the statistic information. They collected the statistic information of Royal, that on August Royal really plays a lot of Spunbang match, and they probably look at the match history and said that in August online spawn matches, Royal only lost 3 games in TVT, pretty much showing like how strong he is, just like how Flash was strong in the past. But let's see how Sharp will be playing against Royal.
Yeah, and our first matchup is going to be Zerg versus Zerg. It's going to be Queen versus Miso. You can see his win rate just astounding, almost 60% across the board. His worst matchup is ZVZ, but I think for a lot of Zergs generally, probably their worst matchup is ZVZ, not because they're bad at it, but simply because of how volatile the matchup is. You know, yesterday we had Gameo, who had a really good opener versus that 9-pool speed, but then fell apart once the speed kicked in. He had a 13 pool, which was an interesting opener.
Kind of funny to see the ASL jacket. I think that is the jacket was made in season 11 or so. So if I try to remember like yesterday and then a couple days or 2 days ago, the player who was wearing the ASL jacket, he won. So I'm gonna be expecting Queen will be winning this game against Miso. Damn, I didn't know. Well, Miso, from the pre-interview, he said that he's very strong in the ZVZ matchup, but I guess the ASL performance, his ZVZ matchup is the worst matchup, 0% win rate.
Yeah, but he only has, what was it, 4 games played? I think the top matchup was, I mean, the one on the picture said like 1-4 versus Protoss, which I thought was surprising because when I thought of Miso, I thought back to the season where Overwatch was in the map pool, where 973 was, very in fashion, and he seemed super deadly with that particular style. I'm surprised that he's only 1-4, and surprisingly, his best matchup was versus Terrence at 4-6. So actually, Miso may be a bit of a dark horse in this group. Players are set up. We're waiting to get into the game, as you stated. It is not going to be TVZ. I don't know why I was thinking we are going to have TVZ on Butter today. I was hoping, of course, because we've got an amazing group. But it's going to be ZVZ again. You think anybody's going to 9 pull? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Game's getting set up. Let's get into game 1. Okay, in the bottom right are yellow Zerg. It is Queen. And in the top right are purple Zerg. It is Miso. Now, I know Queen is definitely an aggressive player, but what about Miso? You think he could be the 9-puller here? Do you think
Well,
we're going to see a 13 pull?
Miso is one of the players who kind of likes to go with one hatch lair tech play. It can be the 9 pull lair or it can be the over pull, but whenever I'm looking at this, how the map is designed, there's no high ground ramp and no, you can't really have a nice ling wall at the entrance. So I am going to expect maybe Miso will be making an overlord.
Alright, well, we'll see what he opts for. Now, I got a question. We saw yesterday a 13 pool, which I don't know if I've ever seen, ever, in ZVZ. Was there any feedback on, like, the forums, like Waigosu or any of the other Korean forums, about that 13 pool opener that Gameo pulled out?
No, I don't really use the Korean StarCraft community like the White Ghosts anymore because they're very toxic over there. They don't really talk about ASL either anymore. But someone was saying that 13 pull was a thing for. I mean, you're pretty much eliminating the possibility. Like 13 pull is better if you're not facing 9 pull. But if you're facing like an overpull or something like an enemy, your opponent plays the same thing like a 12 pull build, then your 13 pull has the slight advantage in the early stage of the game. But we are seeing 2 different builds from both players.
Yep, we've got 12 pool from Miso, meanwhile 12 hatch from Queen. So it is going to be slight build order advantage in my opinion for Queen here. But the hatchery going down at the natural is going to be, just a few seconds later for Miso.
So that was 11 hatchery into 10 pull, but then instead of making 9 extractor, Queen decided to make a single, one more drone before the extractor. So pretty much the same as the 12 hatchery build order, but the thing is, the larva cycle, the system of the larva cycle, there's a time that you have to memorize all the time. So of course, Queen wanted to have slightly an advantage with the larva in the early stage of the game. We are seeing Miso starts the lair tech.
Lair tech coming in, and there is a slightly bigger gas advantage for Miso than I was expecting. Generally, when I see this opener, it's maybe like 70 gas advantage for the faster extractor player, but this is almost 100, so it's actually a full muta in favor of Miso, at least right now. We do see Lings moving across the map. Overlord has not intercepted any of them. It is 6 versus 4 right now, but it's ZVZ. Zero's definitely not skimping out on Lings. He's not going to get greedy and build an additional probe, and neither player get off any hits. Ooh, did he catch 2?
Yeah, this is the AI at the pathing. It's kind of like bugging out. The Miso Zerglin was kind of zigzagging and got a couple more hits. Pressuring Queen here, but gotta be careful. Once Queen gets the overlord pops out, then he will be either choosing to make more drone or more Zergling. So this is the time that Miso needs to pull back all of his Zergling because he won't be able to figure out until Okay, it is drone. Never mind. So Queen is making drone.
Well, initially, I'm seeing this a colony at the natural. I'm thinking, wow, that's really fast that he built that. But, you know, it is a two-player map. Speed could be kicking in very soon for Queen, and he does have larva advantage. So Miso just going to play very defensive here. Now, I see drones already mining for both players, and we do have 3 at bottom left. We'd have 3 for both players, but Queen, look at his supply. It's already 25 versus just 19 for Miso.
Queen is making more Zergling. Metabolic Boost now completes. I think Queen, in my opinion, Queen is already done with the drone saturation. He has complete 3 drones at the natural. He's going to be squeezing all of his resources and the larvae for more Zergling, and he's also doing the Creek Colony trick to have extra Zergling, 27 over 26, and now he's aiming for the timing attack here.
Well, this is a decent amount of lings. I don't know if it's enough to take down a Sunken and all the lings that Miso has. I would say maybe Queen has 4 more lings than Miso right now. But we do have the Spire, I think, done for Miso. So there is a moment where Larva will be being used on Mutas. And if Queen just goes all in here, he may just be able to burst down this natural. Here he comes. He's going to go for it. And now it looks like an overwhelming amount of lings.
That's a funny one. Zergling holding behind of the eggs and Sunken Colony. But those Zergling will be taking down the Sunken Colony. A couple of the Zerglings will go inside of the main base. Will 6 Zergling will be able to take down the Spire? Probably not, because of the Muta just came out at the 5 minute 30-second here. Picking up 1 drone, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4.
3. Okay, I don't know if it got 4 or not, or 3, but regardless, that was well done from Queen. And remember, he's got a Muta timing himself. It's not like he's all in lings with the Evolution Chamber behind it, and he's got way big supply advantage. It's 27 to just 22 right now, and he has even Muta count. He's gonna pop an Overlord, and that could be, oh, it actually does not. Oh, that's Miso popping an Overlord. I don't think that's gonna really affect Queen that much because he's still not supply blocked.
And also Queen has the worker advantage. He can just pretty much make it extra Overlord even if he loses. And since he's on defending side, so he will be having the advantage with the larva, whether it is going to be popping out the Muta or the Scourge. But here's the engagement coming in. None of the Scourge connects.
Ooh, look at the control from both sides. Oh, a Scourge connected on the 2 Mutalisks. Miso could still win this fight, but another Scourge connects for Queen. And now it's just 5 Mutas for Queen, no Scourge support, or 5 Mutas for Miso, no Scourge support. Meanwhile, there's 6 Mutas for Queen, and he does still have 2 Scourge and 2 lings into the natural, so it shuts down the nat. That puts Miso completely all in here.
Yeah, Miso is committing to go for all in, but here, this is the Queen's main base. Queen, gotta be careful. But at the 2 Zerglings are gonna be killing all those drones. Wow, Miso is showing fantastic Muta micro. I mean, he's still keeping up those 5 Muta. None of the Scourge did connect.
Yeah, every time Miso has come in with his Mutas versus the Mutas of Queen, Miso has gotten off the first shot every single time. I've noticed that. So if Miso, oh, look at that, he even kills a Scourge while taking no damage. If Miso didn't lose his entire drone line, I think he could still have a chance. I mean, maybe he still can if he can connect any of these Scourges. Still 5 versus 5. Now it's 5 versus 4, and it looks like just barely Queen is going to take this game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the GG. So, no reason, not sure why those 4 Zerglings just came out, 6 Zerglings came out. But Miso doesn't have any Muta anymore. GG is called. But that was a very good micro to make. Had a potential to make a comeback there, but just too much of an advantage with the worker.
Yeah, losing all those drones to the big Ling flood really did Miso in. I mean, like you said, he had amazing Muta control. To out-Muta micro someone like Queen, that's pretty nuts. So even though Miso loses there, I think he should feel pretty okay about how his control was, at least with the Mutas. A little bit too greedy on the drones, and the Sunken really just didn't help that much.
Yeah, Miso, unfortunate for him. Maybe he should have made extra 3 more Zergling, or maybe 4 more Zergling to hold off. But The stealing did not work out so well here, but Queen, that was a very nice one of going for the timing attack and doing the Kree colony trick to have 2 more Zergling. And that was very fantastic.
Well, that's the end of game 1. We'll be back with our second series. It's going to be Sharp versus Royal. Right, we are back. We just saw a quick win. Oh, I always forget, man.
24강 시조 경기 함께하고
Let's hear
계십니다.
what she
첫 번째
says.
경기에서는 김정우 선수가
So
한두열
she is
선수를 상대로
summarizing of the
빠르게
game
승리를
number 1
거두고
of this
승자전으를 향했는데요.
ASL Season 14
두
Round
번째
of
경기
24 Group C.
만나보시기에 앞서서 이벤트부터
Queen
함께하고 있죠.
decided to go for the 11 attribute build against the 12 pool that Miso chose. Miso had a build order disadvantage, but he showed very amazing Mira micro, but did not work out well because the Zerglin flood pretty much killed him. So much of a worker. And we are also looking at this ASL event. Ask ASL. Go to ASL mainstream platform. Leave a comment to the player, to your favorite players or players, to everyone. And if your comment gets selected, you get the ASL mini fan. And also there's also Africa TV esports page. There you can collect those gem, and you can throw some gems to go for the winner's prediction, and you can exchange those gems for something else like a coffee, graphics card, or any other stuff that they have.
Well, we are getting into game 2. It is now going to be Sharp versus Royal. You can see Sharp's win rate, basically his best matchup, 57.1%. Just slightly edging that is his versus Zerg. So this seems to be a really good group for him in terms of matchups. But Royal, he's no slouch. You know, 3 years ago, I would say, who the heck is Royal? But Royal's really come onto the scene, and he's come onto the scene hard. He's somebody that now you think has a real shot of taking down the tournament. But like I said, Sharp's TVT is absolutely crazy. I always think about his game on Ground Zero versus Flash, I think 2 years ago. It's probably one of the best TVTs I've ever seen. So Royal does need to be careful.
It's kind of shocking to know that Royal's win rate is 25% in TVT and 28% in Terran versus Protoss. But when we think of Royal, like online spawn match or any something like Ultimate Battle or StarCastTV show, we can see Royal always inventing some new strategy, like the Ghost Nuclear Lockdown, or in what did he do in TVT? But not sure. But yeah, he always finds something new compared to the other standard players, and yeah, those are the online performance. But on the ASL performance, he does not have that good win rate. But I would like to see how strong he is.
Yeah, I am also. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say in 2022 at the end.
Okay. Well, I am also surprised by the ASL stats because, like you said, online Royal's a beast. I do have to say, though, remember ASTL that just happened a couple months ago? I mean, he all killed the finals, right?
Right.
So he's definitely a big time threat in this tournament. Players are ready. Let's get into game 2. Butter, Sharp versus Royal. Okay, and the bottom right in the red, it is Sharp. And in the top right in the blue, it is Royal. Now, I know for the past, year, 2 years, Vulture Man has been the go-to build for a lot of players. Not really a lot of deviation. Sometimes 3-fact into Starport. So I've been seeing sometimes even 4-fact. Has there been any changes in TVT recently?
Well, if you're playing on a 2-player map, I heard there's not much of a Vulture War, like a 3-factory Vulture build. But before ASL qualifier starts, like Royal came up to me on my stream and he asked me to play best of 3, and that was about more than a month ago. But he was working on a factory expansion into Starport build, but not sure whether he will be doing that strategy or whatnot, because I heard from Sock, because Sock recently joined JSA, and now I'm not in JSA anymore, but he and I were talking about TVT strategy in a 2-player map. The 3-factory Vulture build is definitely great, but sometimes if you go for a completely like a standard with a 2-factory tank Goliath build or factory Starport build, that's much better in a 2-player map. So I wonder if Royal will be doing the factory expansion into Starport follow-up.
Okay, well, if we're gonna see a factory Starport build, I'm super excited because that's the build I play all the time. We've definitely got our notepad out. Oh, what happened?
Did you see that Royal started with the 11 refinery?
Did he? It
Yeah,
looks like a similar gas timing for both players, though.
But if you look at the supply count, it's different. 13.
Yeah.
Sharp has the slightly having the advantage with the supply count. Look, now he'll be having 14. Royal has 13.
Do you like 11 gas? Because every time I've tried doing 11 gas, like my factory is not even that much faster, maybe like 3 seconds. I never feel like it's worth sacking that SCV.
Well, it really depends on your optimization, but I want to see how good both of the players' optimization, because Royal is one of the players who's really good at optimization here. 2 minute 24 seconds of factory timing for Royal, and not sure how fast also Sharp was. Probably somewhere like 3 seconds, 4 seconds difference. But will that make some difference? In my opinion, quite not sure about it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that'll make a difference either, but sometimes, if you do build like 3 vultures and the other player goes 2 vulture add-on, I guess those 3 or 4 seconds could be a difference maker. Sharp, of course, did get in and scout and see that it was a 225 factory, so he knows that, okay, this guy did cut for this, so he's aware that he has a slightly more minerals right now, so his command center should be faster.
Yeah, Sharp is cutting off the Vespene gas in both of the players. Okay, add-on is being added for Royal. So I guess that 11 refinery was for having the couple seconds faster with the machine shop. So maybe Royal is going for directly making a siege tank, or maybe it can be the vulture speed. We don't know.
Okay, now that I see that it's an instant add-on, okay, I'm liking the 11 gas a little bit more. But if it was just for the faster vulture, I'm not too sure. But now he could go straight into tank, like you're mentioning. He does have enough gas for it, but he does go straight into vulture instead. And Sharp, despite knowing that this guy has gone for a faster factory, he's going to send that vulture at least across to the middle, and now he's going to turn back.
Well, I'm looking at Royal's Vespine gas. He's mining the gas with only one, and he's not making he's not making the vulture speed either. Okay, now he's putting down the second factory. That's a very interesting optimization. You you go for 11 refinery with the slightly couple faster factory timing and having an add-on, but then you're not getting the vulture speed either. Okay, we are seeing Sharp decide to go for 3 factory vulture build.
Yep, 3 fact vulture. Okay, it's gonna be 3 fact vulture from both sides. I'm a bit sad that the tank or the factory starport build not gonna be coming into play. We do have armory somewhat hidden at the bottom side of Sharp's base, and that's a pretty darn fast armory too. I mean, that's a 445 armory.
In my opinion, Sharp is cutting a lot of worker production because you're investing those 100 mineral and then 50 Vespine gas for all those type of resource on armory. Look at that. I just saw Sharp's natural command center was not blinking, so that means there's lots of worker production not being produced. But meanwhile, Royal is not built. I don't think he built an armory, did he? Probably not.
I don't think he built an armory either. Now that depot I was looking at, I'm like, well, wait a minute, man, isn't that gonna be kind of awkward? And actually he built that because if the racks landed there, it'd be hard for units to get out. Now that barracks, that is a very unlucky barracks. He does not spot the armory. And if you just have mass vulture versus a decent amount of vultures plus Goliaths, I mean, Goliaths don't care about vultures. Goliaths can easily tank them. So Royal, he desperately needs to find out that there's actually an armory, but he does not spot it.
Well, we are taking a look at here that Royal is having so much of a supply lead. What is wrong with this optimization from Sharp? I mean, 66 versus 60. Oh, okay, there's a Goliath production. Okay, no wonder why. But what's the point of having these two Goliath in early stage of the game, in my opinion? Because I mean, you don't have the map control. You can't really move out with this vulture. That's interesting.
Yeah, this is weird because I saw the 2 Goliaths and I was thinking, okay, maybe he's gonna wait for like 5 Goliaths and then maybe wall his entrance for like a counterattack, make sure he doesn't die to a counterattack. But then we just saw 3 more vultures get out. So it's not gonna be like an overwhelming of Goliaths, and now more vultures are being built. Yeah, this is weird, and he's not showing the Goliaths either, so he's not even picking off the barracks. Okay, but here he goes, but I don't know.
Yeah, Royal is just putting lots of spider mines here and there to have some map control. He's gonna be backing up after laying down some spider mines. I guess he's just gonna be directly going for I want to see Academy, but maybe some other place, maybe at the natural or so. Yeah, I see a giant building above the Royal's natural, so that must be the Academy there. So yeah, after putting down the spider mines, Royal decided to just not... He just avoids to play the Vulture War. He's avoiding the Vulture War. He will be just working on the worker production and just sit at the main natural.
We've got a ton of vultures, as expected from both sides. Oh, he picks off one of the vultures coming through the bridge. Supplies are now basically even though Royal had almost a 10 supply lead a moment ago. Looking at the minimap, it just looks like there's way more vultures for Sharp right now. I mean, it's still a lot for Royal, but just looking at the sea of red, felt like more for Sharp. You've got comp stats coming in for both.
If I look at the worker count, like the spectator did not show us how many workers are there at the mat and on the main, but when I look at the supply count, I mean the supply count is even, but whenever the spectator is showing the Sharp's main base or natural, I find Sharp's worker count seems much less than Royal's worker count.
Yeah, well, despite that, somehow he finds 400 minerals to put down a command center at his third base. The one thing I've noticed in terms of the worker count isn't necessarily the lack of workers for Sharp, but the fact that Royal's mining his gas with 3 workers at his natural. Just now, Sharp took his gas. He's building it right now. So Royal has mined way more gas overall, and he's putting all that gas into tanks. I think that's the first tank we've seen from Sharp at all. Meanwhile, I know Royal has at least 5 tanks.
Can you actually feel the difference with the worker count every time when the spectator is showing Royal's main base and Sharp's main base? Like, look at the natural. Yeah, that seems about decent, but whenever the spectator shows the Royal's natural, it seems much more.
Yeah, and even though Sharp is catching, or even though Sharp is even in supply, you know, if Royal had a third base right now, I would like his position more. But the fact that Sharp has a faster third base, I am getting a little worried that Royal is a bit slow on the gun here to take a third, because you need a lot of gas in TVT. Right now, Sharp's controlling the map while taking more bases. I still like Royal's comp more simply because it has more tanks, but he's going to be attacking into high ground with Vulture tank.
Oh no, those tanks just soak up one of the Spider-Man, gotta be careful, but Royal wants the pressure here.
Dude, so many Vultures from both sides. A single tank and Vultures push back that attack from Royal. We see a small counterattack with a single Vulture. He does spot the third base from Royal. I guess it was Royal floating a command center. So basically both players have their third base at even time. Now we have 5 factories, I think, for both, but we do have a starport for Royal right now. I wonder if he'll go into race. I see he's put an add-on onto it.
Look how fast look how fast Royal is just moving his tank from right to left here, and yeah, Sharp is just having lots of pressure. I mean, of course Sharp has the Vulture count lead, but the Vulture count lead kind of falls behind. Oh my god, okay, the Spider does connect.
Yeah, so he kills another tank, and like you said, Royal is moving across the map very quickly. You know, people think about TVT as being a slow, methodical matchup. I mean, it may be methodical, but all of the top players move very, very fast. Now, Sharp got off some good shots there. He takes down, I think, 3 of the tanks while losing only 2. He's got triple add-on, so he's got more add-on tank... Oh no, he's got equal tank production for both sides. We've got double armory, and I remember, I think, you saying that if it's double armory, that means we're going to go heavy ground. It's not going to be Wraith play.
Since Royal had all those Vesping gas, having more Vesping gas in the mid-game, I think Sharp might not going to have having even matchup with the upgrade at the same time here, but we are seeing the first drop just came out, but I want to see whether Sharp has the starport. I haven't seen the starport yet, but we see Royal has the +1 already. Vulture will be cutting off the CV.
I also have not seen the starport, but I mean, these players, they're obviously aware that +2 is very important. Okay, here we go. We're gonna have another big engagement. Sharp has found basically isolated tanks. He kills 3 of them while only losing 1, and this is a huge loss for Royal. But at the same time, we've got a counterattack drop, but Goliath spotted. I don't know how he reacted to that. Somehow the drop still gets in. Supplies are heavily in favor of Royal. I don't know how that happened, because it looks like Sharp's winning basically every fight, but Royal's up 25 supplies somehow.
Yeah, that 4 Vulture drop did lots of damage, and a couple of C-Stain will be staying at home. That's a 6th factory being added for Sharp. That must be the starport and the science facility at the natural, but those sneaky 4 Vultures at the left side is still denying. Okay, it's attacking the command center, not picking up the SCV, but yeah, it's still being buying some time. Royal is deciding to move towards the right side. Okay, Spider Mine. He needs to be careful with the Spider Mine. He keeps connecting.
And I can see that. I don't know how they're connecting because there's so many clumped up, but there's so many there, but there's a lot of vultures. You would think that the vultures would be able to focus them down, but not the case. A single wraith comes out to try and save the day versus this vulture. And you know, we were talking about how Sharp had the faster third base, but his fourth base is slower. Royals is already up and running. Royals taking a fifth base. Sharp is caught up in supply. It's 140 to 153. This is so annoying to just lose your SCV building the command center over and over and over. But I still like Sharp's position because he has more dominant map control through the center.
Interesting choice from Royal that he made only 2 dropship. He'll be just constantly dropping probably the vultures inside. Yeah, there are the vultures inside. He'll be buying some time over there, but dragging the attention towards to Sharp's main base. And meanwhile, he's bringing lots of army. That's about 2 groups of army moving towards to the right side. I guess he wants to attack Sharp's third expansion, but this ramp, it seems really small to climb up.
Yeah, I think Royal's attack here was a pretty good idea, but Sharp's just reaction was so fast to get into position. But look at that D-Matrix on the tank line. He's going to soak up so many hits on that single tank. Meanwhile, I think he knocked down 4 for maybe just 1 tank. That was a big win for Royal. And behind this, he's going to take mid-right. Remember, this is a 2-player map. If you can get either of the mid-bases, that's going to be a big benefit to you. Now he may have overstepped. Those are tanks on the high ground. And oh, but look at this. Royal already has 2-1 versus just +1 weapon of Sharp.
Yeah, 14-minute 2-1 upgrade. I really love it. And he's having, how many factories are 4? 4 add-on for both players. I guess having 4 add-ons is not like a new thing nowadays, I guess. But yeah, Royal is having lots of army. He's bringing another 2 groups of army. Vultures are sucking up the siege tank shot. Sieging. He needs to target the siege tank. Okay, he's changing the target and taking down those siege tank. And now this is a very good trade for Royal. Royal only lost those mineral cost unit, but trading off with the Sharp's gas unit, the siege tanks.
Yeah, and you can just see how fast both players are. You know, actually Sharp was moving into position up here before that attack even happened. So he was aware that Royal was going to make a move like this, but Royal still had a really good trade right there. He killed 4 tanks for just a couple vultures, like you said. And now it's only a 20 supply lead for Royal, but it was 40 a minute ago. And look, now he repositions to the center of the map. I mean, this guy's just constantly pulling Sharp left and right over and over, finding vulnerable tanks, and those are expensive units.
Yeah, this is super fast, I would say. I mean, like 10 seconds ago, as from Sharp's point of view, you showed me 8 tanks at the left side, but all of a sudden you show another handful size of the army on the mid position. I mean, he would be surprising. Like, that's so much of army constantly pressuring me. I mean, Sharp needs to decide whether he wants to hold off the left or hold off the middle, but that's a lot of siege tank on a high ground.
Yeah, that is in high ground, and a lot of them were, a lot of Royals tanks were too far back, so he's not going to get as good of an engagement as he wanted, but he still trades, I would say, pretty evenish there. He also knocks down all the Goliaths, so a lot of lost gas units for Sharp, but Sharp's starting to take his 5th base, but the problem is he still doesn't have one of the mid bases. We've got drops coming in, and it is going to go straight to bottom left, I guess.
The very interesting part that I'm finding from Royal's playstyle is that he was using 2. Okay, the the Spider-Man did not connect to the siege tank, but I guess the Spider-Man not being placed. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to talk about was Royal was making 2 dropship in the early stage of the game and harassing Sharp, but then all of a sudden he showed us D-Matrix and having the Science Vessel, but all of a sudden he's changing into dropship. I mean, he's so fast with changing his unit composition.
Yeah, now I did see that the science facility just died, so that means that +3 cannot be built anymore from Sharp. He also, if he wants to go into BCs, well, that can't happen anymore because he doesn't have a science facility. So now Royal should be aware that, okay, this guy's not transitioning at all. It is just going to be pure ground, and we've got a drop on top of the tanks at mid-right, while also, oh, it's a counter drop too, so Sharp on the ball here. He is going to save this base unless these tanks get off some big hits. That's one of them, takes down one of the tanks, does not take down the second one, and I think Sharp should hold this.
Well, a couple seconds ago we saw Royal had 200 supply, but now the moment when Royal committed the fight over here, he lost so much of army, and now Sharp is somehow managing up to keep up the supply count, almost evening out. But the right side of the expansion seems vulnerable, I would say. I mean, now Sharp is bringing lots of army. Royal's having the flooded Vespene gas, but can he actually defend? Yes, maybe. He does have these D-Matrix.
I think that Vessel should have the energy for D-Matrix, but he was microing those vultures on the high ground, trying to get some mine connection. Royal is going to hold this, I think. The tanks are just barely out of range from knocking each other down, and he's obviously not within range of the command center. Supplies are still so close, 155 to 65. Dropships moving to the left side, and again, Royal's just the one that's always slightly faster. He's going to carpet bomb these tanks. These are going to die. He may lose, or Sharp may trade decently, but no, he does not. Definitely not. Only kills 2 tanks while losing 5. Now he's giving up high ground. He cannot let Royal get on the high ground here, because I think on the high ground you can siege the 4th base, or the 5th base.
Yeah, that 3 dropships are trying to go to the left side of the map, maybe harass the 11 o'clock expansion. That's decent amount of army, 4 vulture, 4 siege tank. Not sieging, but Royal will be throwing all those SCV, but at the same time Sharp will be taking the damage at the bottom left. So this is okay. I don't think Royal will be able to defend the 11 o'clock expansion, but both of the players will be losing the expansion.
Yeah, it seems like Royal's actually going to hold this base. I was agreeing. I thought for sure that this base was going to die, but it's just 1 tank left over, so that will get shut down eventually. Meanwhile, I don't see really any way for Sharp to knock down this tank contain outside the 4th base, and that's a ton of dropships to reinforce this position potentially. But instead, Royal's got different ideas. He knows that there's a lot of pressure on the left side of the map. Well, I thought he was going to actually go drop the right side, but instead he's just going to constantly enforce this 4th base, or this left side position.
Okay, here are the 4 dropships coming from Sharp. He's unloading those siege tank and Goliath of some vultures, but not efficiently trading because it's 3-2 upgrade and Sharp has only 2-1 upgrade. These are the 5 dropships are about to unload at this 6 o'clock, but okay, those are the vultures. Vultures are not that great, but now here is backup, the reinforcement that Sharp just now brought. He will be able to defend the 6 o'clock expansion. But thing is, Sharp is only having 4 gas versus 5 gas Royal.
Yeah, I mean, even almost 6 gas, because bottom top left is going to get reset up. 40 supply lead. I think Sharp, this is the Hail Mary for him. He must bust something. He's going to try and bust mid-right. There's not a lot of defense here. He finally finds an opener, and he's going to trade really well, too. A single D-Matrix may save... he got off another kill, but there's still just so much for Royal. Oh, an open 3rd base. This would be good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting an open 3rd base, as you mentioned, and now here are the 5 dropships. Do you have the army? I mean, you have the decent amount of supply count, but maybe he does not?
Whoa, I was not expecting that long of a tank line, and this base got obliterated. I thought Sharp was kind of down and out when it was 4 bases versus just 6, but now it's manageable at 4 versus 5, and he may even knock down that command center, so it could be 4 versus 4. Meanwhile, we've got a counterattack to bottom left again. Sharp repositioning quite well, but Royal a little bit faster. Oh, mines get set up, and he will trade decently. He's gonna knock down all the tanks. I can't believe it.
Something just went wrong for Royal here. Royal has a lot of Vespene gas, but he can't really spend those minerals. Oh my god, okay, he forgot to lift up the command center, so it's only 2 base mining from both players. I mean, yeah, it's 4 gas versus 4 gas, and Royal has that much of a Vespene gas, but he can't really use it here. He's unloading lots of Goliath here, but Goliaths are not that great against those mass siege tank. And okay.
Oh my god, Royal's bleeding off so many units right here. The supply, remember it was 40 supply advantage for Royal a second ago. Now it's 156 to 152. Royal's going to try and retake a mid base at mid left this time, and Sharp's going to take mid right. But there's still slight map control for Royal right now on the high ground. The big problem for Sharp right now is he hasn't killed any of the drop ships. Royal's just able to go back and forth, but losing that fourth base was a big loss for Royal.
Yeah, the vessel is still being alive, and Royal is just making lots of Goliath siege tank, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm gonna be considering Royals having the slightly advantage with the map control, but thing is, he's lacking with the resource, the mineral. He needs more mineral to make more siege tank, but Sharp is having nice amount of a mineral field. Okay.
I would actually like to see Sharp drop the fourth base that he just killed. If he can drop that base, he can take that base. I mean, just because it's on Royal side of the map doesn't mean he can't take it. Instead, he is going to reposition his tanks to the left side. And oh, that is Sharp going for a doom drop. I saw drops moving there. There we go. He is going to take this fourth base.
Well, he's going to be unloading the vulture top of the siege tank, but now we are seeing Royal is moving, but it's only 170 supply for Royal. Okay, Royal chose this destination, unloading his Goliath and siege tank. He needs to target down those siege tank. The Sharp siege tank will get picked off one by one. He's changing the target. Okay, he forgot to change the target, but the D matrix is going to be soaking up lots of hit. But another unloading 6 dropship right next to the siege tank.
Yeah, that. Oh my
Wait,
god! I thought Sharp was not going to kill that at all, but instead he kills a ton of tanks. There still may be a little bit too much for Sharp to handle, but he traded very well there. He needs to be careful to reseed these tanks. He does focus down those 2 tanks, so he's doing a really good job to hold. And for the first time all game, we have Sharp with supply lead, 140 to 120.
Oh, yeah, nice focus from Sharp, that he keeps saving those siege tank and repairing his siege tank here and there. And now Royal, his science vessel has 200 energy. Can you actually use D matrix and sieging right next to the vulture? Not sure about that. I mean, those vultures will soaking. Okay, so the Spider-Man did not kill off any of the siege tank, but this is not looking great.
No, and Royal doesn't know that this 4th or 5th base at bottom left has actually been set up by Sharp. Like, if he repositions those tanks that he already has over there, he could knock down this base. He just doesn't know that it's there. And meanwhile, Sharp is repositioning his own units to knock down these tanks. If he knocks down these tanks, he can get on high ground and start thinking about knocking down mid-left. Royal's aware of that, so he's going to send some units to mid-left right now. A drop actually is going to come in for Sharp. Is he going to load on the high ground? He does. That's a lot of tanks.
A lot of tank, as you mentioned, and those 4 siege tank are going to buy some time. And those spider mines was not placed on a nice spot, but they're still doing some work, picking up more SCV.
Yeah, meanwhile, I mean, the multitask this game is just absolutely insane. Anytime somebody makes a move on the one side, there's definitely something happened on the other side. Just a couple seconds later, and Sharp does finally clear out all of the top right base, and that means he could start thinking about taking that. We've got drops being loading up from Royal. He is dead set on eliminating bottom left. He's heading over there right now. He definitely has the priority on this left side of the map. Oh, he's going to try and doom drop bottom left and shut down 2 bases.
Okay, that is going to hurt Sharp's eco a lot here. But Sharp is also going to go for the counterattack with his 5 dropship, but there's not much of a missile threat. Okay, that single siege tank can actually take down one of the missile threat, but okay, he will be ignoring it. He will be unloading those siege tank and Goliath and now Royal needs to pull back all of his army, but these are the 6 Siege tank with barricaded with Royal's factory.
Yeah, he's on the production right now. Royal has a lot of production in his 9 factories, but this is 5 tanks. 5 tanks blow up stuff real quick. And Sharp, he's already reloading up some more drop ships. Can he get them back to top right in time? I think the tanks will hold long enough that he could potentially drop near the depots.
Oh my god,
And
the
he has
vulture. Oh my god, that's... Yeah, these random 4 vultures have somehow just came.
Look at the supply scan, skyrocketing for Sharp.
Oh
and
my god.
yeah, the tanks defend the bottom side of the factories, but not this time. The drop comes in, and GG comes out in what looked like a dominant position for Royal the most of the game. Sharp somehow eliminates the right side and then leapfrogs into the main to take the victory.
I mean, in terms of the optimization, of course, Royal was having such a lead with the supply lead, the worker count lead, and so on with the optimization. But I guess the late game potential with like the decision making and the unit movement, like the decision making, everything was totally outplayed compared to Royal.
Yeah, the defense was great. I mean, for the first 15 minutes, it looked like Royal was the one dictating the game. I loved his big attack at mid-right that Sharp ended up defending. When he did the big drop, then he tried to reload and drop again. Actually, as I was looking at that, if Royal had even sieged up 2 tanks on the high ground, he could have shot tanks that were coming on the bridge. And I think if he had done that, he would have easily killed mid-right. And this would be a different game. But regardless, Sharp, amazing multitask. Amazing TVT. This is probably one of the best TVTs I've seen in all of ASL. And that means we've got Sharp versus Queen in our winners match. We're going to be going in... No, we're not going into the break. We're going in that Hot 6 commercial.
Yes, the Hot 6 commercial. And of course, they gotta be advertising of this the new flavor or the new one, the King Zero, the black one. And
yeah, well, they...
Anyway, while they're advertising the Hot 6 commercial. Second game, it was very amazing game, I would say.
Yeah, that game was nuts. Absolutely nuts. Whenever you see good players play TVT, you get games like that. It's super exciting to see the constant repositioning from both sides. I mean, they were everywhere. They were literally everywhere. Left side of the map, right side of the map. They were comboing drops while also using their ground army. Absolutely picture perfect play from both sides. And like I was saying, I mean, even though I like Royal the best in this group, Sharp's TVT, you can see it. It's nuts, man. Just crazy.
I remember I was watching the BSO game of some of the TVT. I think it was Mihu versus was it the Canadian guy? Yeah, Gypsy. There you go. Don't they also play like this too? I mean, I find their game really entertaining, I would say.
Yeah, well, that particular game, I remember it was also super fast-paced. Like, there was just one moment in the game where Mihu was slightly out of position. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, Gypsy, just counterattack this guy. And you got it. And he goes for an instant counterattack. And he won the game because of it. I mean, positioning is so important in TVT. But you gotta be on the ball. You gotta be fast. You gotta have scans and be aware of what's going on. If you're too slow, that window of opportunity can close in an instant, especially when you're running into tank vultures. I can't believe how many mines were hit that game in the early stages.
True.
In the Royal Sharp game. I mean, it felt like there's no way that he's going to run into them. And then he did, and they exploded, even though there was like 30 vultures just hanging around the tanks potentially to knock them down.
Yeah, there's also the prejudice of how people are saying, yeah, TVT is very boring. You just sit in an ARG with the siege tank line, but it really isn't. I mean, if you get to see those great players like playing each other, there's non-stop battle. But we are gonna be coming back after the commercial break.
Right, we are back. Are we going into Sharp versus Queen, our winners match? We see Odyssey banned by Queen. That seems surprising to me. And then we've got Neo Arkanoid being banned by Sharp, and that means that Allegro's going to be our map pick. We saw during the break Into the Rain's match choice, which was Mini versus Action. I don't remember that game. I guess that was a wild game. I thought actually Action was going to win after that denied hatchery, looking at how many Corsairs died, but in the end, I guess that was too much of a penalty. But this TVZ, I think I'm leaning toward Sharp. Remember in his ASL stats, it said TVZ was his best matchup so far, and he looked really damn good in the game we just saw, multitasking everywhere. I think he could definitely take down Queen.
Yeah, and I'm also excited to see how well Queen will be playing, because Queen was studying something about like stock exchange or something for like more than 3 months, and so he pretty much had like a 3 months break, but he's once again back to the ASL. So I want to see how well he's going to be performing of this Terran vs Zerg matchup, because Terran vs Zerg matchup, everything decides depending on your meta micro.
So in the bottom left, coming off of a victory versus Royal, it is Sharp. And in the bottom right, taking down Miso earlier, it is Queen. Now, bottom right, we were talking about turret placement at top left yesterday. What about bottom left turret placement? To me, it's a little bit better than top left.
I love it because you can place your missile turret just like the L shape, the alphabet L, that's your natural. Oh my god, look at the match history of this ASL match history, Sharp vs Queen, 3-0. Didn't know Sharp was absolutely being dominant against Queen, but that was more than 6 years ago. That was before, pre-ASL. There's a Bunt Star League, and Sharp beat Queen at the third place match, 3-0 there. But we are seeing Sharp making the supply depot at the natural, so that is going to be the wall.
Yeah, for a second I thought he was going to be 8 raxing, but it is just going to be the wall. Now you can see there is a tiny gap between the actual wall and the depot, so he does have to clog it up with an SCV or a Marine's position there, but yeah, this semi-wall will help him out to defend Lings if they end up coming. And we do see no early pool from Queen. It is just going to be normal 12 hatch opener.
There's one more thing that I am going to be expecting from Sharp's play, because we know Queen's overlord, the scouting overlord is going to be always going to go for counterclockwise. That means Queen won't be able to put the overlord at the Sharp's natural. Once Sharp figures out Queen is not located at 11 o'clock, he will be definitely knowing that the overlord won't be coming to his natural for a long time. He might even gonna commit to go for 2 racks academy build once he figures out where Queen is located at.
And we do have the drone coming in, and he will, of course, see the wall. Wonder if he's gonna go in and poke and see if there's a gas. Like I said earlier, Sharp isn't really a meching type of player in TVZ, so I don't even necessarily think Queen needs to scout, but he's getting off so much damage on that SCV. Sharp's gotta be careful. That's probably a dead SCV. Ooh, he does save it just in the nick of time.
I want to see Sharp making... the drone lives! I want to see 2 racks. I want to see 2 racks in academy just now placed, but never mind. I guess that SCV is going to go to the natural, putting down 18 command center. 2 Marine into 18 command center. Weird optimization, yes. I would say.
Yeah, a safe opener, right? Like, you're just not going to die to anything, really. But your command center is a little bit delayed. Now, I wanted to ask you about this, because I remember in the Light videos, Light in Barracks video, Light mentioned something about the lair timing to Barracks, about if it's this lair timing, then the hatch is going to be in the main. If it's this lair timing, the hatch is going to be somewhere else. I'm pretty sure he did. Something about a 255 gas compared to like a 303 gas.
Oh yeah, so whenever Zerg is doing the 302 layer attack, then the Zerg player, whenever they finish the layer attack, they will be having a bonus larva. The bonus larva, it's like a system where every single time whenever you get the hatchery or you get the layer or you get the hive tag, you always get the bonus larva. So 302 layer tag, the thing that Light was mentioning about, whenever you're doing the 302 layer tag, when your layer tag is 99% done, you have the larva just comes out, but at the same time layer tag finishes, you get the bonus larva. So you have the one more extra larva advantage in an early stage of the game to have more unit or more drone for the equal play style. But we are seeing Queen is throwing the drone all the way to the top right side, so he wants to expand towards the 1 o'clock main base.
Okay, so I guess it was me just guessing what he was talking about with the 255 versus 302, but that is nice to know. And this SCV, why is it here? I have no idea, but it intercepts the drone and it is going to be annoying. But unfortunately, that SCV is facing a Queen drone, and that means that there's no way the SCV is going to win that fight. Zerglings are going to meet up and make sure that he doesn't win the fight. But it is nice to know exactly where that hatch is.
And this is the 4-minute 55-second M&M pressuring. And like how Light was mentioning, if your medic comes out and you are able to move out before 5-minute mark, that's a sign for Zerg player to put down Creek Colony, and we get to hear the scan, compensation scan at the natural. Two Sun Colony being made. I don't think Sharp will go for the bust, but because it's a 7 Marine with a 2 medic, maybe he might be able to do the run by on the right side. Oh, he's committing to go in, but oh no, not sure about this diving in.
But that was a really good pullback. Like, none of the Marines died. I thought for sure at least one of them were going to die. But let's say Sharp doesn't go for that bust. What do you think about him going to top right to try and deny the hatchery? I mean, could that have been an option?
That would have been an option. That would have been an option, but I guess he really wanted to make sure Queen puts down to Sun Colony. I mean, if I were him, maybe he could have tried. I mean, he saw with the scouting SCV dying at the 1 o'clock, and he caught that there was a hatchery being morphed. So that was an interesting choice that he went for the natural. Maybe because of the rush distance is shorter.
Yeah, it is still cross spawn, so maybe he felt like the mutas would be out in time. He couldn't actually deny top right. But regardless, he didn't lose anything. He forced 2 Sunkens, which is a good trade for him. But now the dangerous, pesky mutas are out. There's only 2 turrets though, and every Terran player knows 2 turrets are not enough. He one-shots that SCV. 2 gone.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Now scan.
I hate
Zerg had to have lost something for that, right? Like, don't tell me they just got 6 SCVs for free.
They just got the 6 SCV for free. Oh, he's coming in to get more. 7. Even canceling the 8, 9. Okay, 9 SCV for 1 muta. I don't like this game anymore.
He literally killed almost the entire SCV line. And you know, people ask me like, now why do you play Valkyries every game? Well, that's why, man. He literally just ran into turrets and the Marines were close by. It just didn't matter. Now, Sharp isn't necessarily all in, but he's been crippled big time, and he's got to do something with these Marines. Otherwise, it's Queen's game to lose at this point.
Yeah, this is one of the reason why a lot of Terran players don't like to play against Zerg player who is really, really good at muta micro, because their muta, they just don't die. And like how people were saying in the pre-interview, one of the fans were asking about the ZVT, the current meta, and how meta was been shifting. And he said, the Queen said map makers are slightly adding the advantage for the Terran side, but I don't see much of a difference. Even if the map makers try to support for Terran to have slightly advantage, but these type of player doesn't matter. They don't lose their muta. They're just constantly picking up your SCV all day long.
Yeah, and now Sharp, he's out on the map with not that big of an army. I mean, it's decently large, but there's only 3 medics now, so they're going to be running out of energy soon. and these Marines are going to be stuck. I think Sharp realizes it, so he's quickly reinforcing a backup army. Now the army will start to get dangerous. It's like 2.5 groups, and this is kept Zerg on Zerg's side of the map, so at least it alleviates pressure in the natural, and Sharp can rebuild his eco. I know that his starport's done, so science facility should be coming soon, but Queen's Hive has started.
The +1 Muta is done, having about a decent amount of Muta count, but there's no Lurker Act being started, so he can't really leave his Muta to go for more harassment here, because the M&Ms are standing at the natural. And yeah, those are the double starport about to add a science facility. There it is.
Lurkers being morphed. This is 3 Sunkens. I don't think 3 Sunkens by themselves could hold this off, but with Muta support he should. Now this feels very ambitious from Sharp. Yeah, he instantly gets punished. That was not the move right there. Loses so many Marines. But again, it does at least keep the Mutalists back. Supplies are still even, 65 to 65, but I like Queen's position a bit better. He's got 3 bases, he's got better eco, he's got Defiler Mound coming in.
If Queen decides to go for I don't see him making much of a drone in my opinion. I mean, I saw he only had 7 drone at the main. Okay, those are the Mutals that are going to be picking up more SCV. 2, 3, probably 4, one more, never mind. He's not going to be picking up another one. I don't see any macro hatchery yet, but we see Queen is kind of lacking some worker at the main. Decent amount of worker at the natural.
Yeah, no big time macro play from Queen, at least not just yet. And we do have second eBay coming in, so it's going to be SK Terran from Sharp. Lurkers are out on the map, and that's kind of a weird position to position them. So we may have hold position Lurkers come into play in just a second. And I think they are on hold. That Lurker I think should have shot, but it didn't. And now trying to get those Marines to go over there, but he does not.
Now those Lurkers are stacked. The thing that Queen really is good at is stacking his Lurker. Because M&Ms, for some reason, they're using the Steam Pack. Okay, Lurkers are backing off. 2 vessels are out, having the 2 eBay, second eBay at the natural, so that must be the +2 weapon at the natural and +1 armor at the main one. 9 Muta picking up the Marine.
Yep, these Mutas, they're pretty much dead weight now, but they're still getting value killing random Marines that are isolated. Now we've got the macro hatches coming in. 2 of them actually, and we do have the first defilers out, and actually we have 2 vessels into straight 2 dropships. And I'm looking to see, is there any hole that Sharp could abuse here? It looks like Queen has vision at the bottom side, but I don't see Scourge there. There are Scourge at top right, but not that many. So maybe Sharp could make something happen with these drops?
Well, he's loading up more army and he's about to use the Irradiant on the Mutas, but whether or not sure this is going to be a good decision making. One of the Scourge does connect. Muta, nicely split, but now dropship is unloading. Oh my god, that's not a good way of unloading your army. I mean, you know there were Mutalists and Scourge were sitting, but why did you decide to drop there, Sharp?
Yeah, it also drew all the attention right there because those units just got irradiated, so bit of a blunder by Sharp. He doesn't lose, I guess, too much, 1 full dropship and maybe a couple Marines, but that does obviously alleviate pressure. Queen also knows there's only 2 vessels, so he's going to feel good to just take his 4th base off of just a couple Lurkers and a single Defiler.
Don't like this plague on those Marine and then a vessel there. Dropship unloading, a couple of Marine. Have enough energy for another Dark Swamp, but I guess Queen is going to be backing up. Never mind. I guess he was expecting the dropship will be coming at the main, but using the Dark Swamp at the mineral field. Hatchery is bleeding, but I don't think it's gonna die.
No, it's still got a ton of health, like at least 700 or so. Sharp repositioned his Marine Medic outside of the natural of Queen, and now he's also outside of the 4th base of Queen. And look at this, a double expand at 13 minutes. So he's going to have big eco. He's got 7 racks coming. Still only 2 starports. Loading his factory also, so no chance for tank switch at any point. This is going to be Vessel BC probably.
Okay, those 3 vessels are, and 2 more vessels are coming, and you wanna avoid those defilers. Those defilers are always gonna be ready to use the Darksworn and the Plague on those science vessels. Okay, he does not have the mana upgrade yet.
Yeah, he doesn't. And those were some good irradiates, really good control from Terran too. Limits the amount of damage that the lurkers and defilers do. Ultra Cavern already done, so we're gonna have ultras coming out in about 2 minutes or so. A lot of SCVs being transferred. I mean, there's a ton already at the 3rd base. You could see that the main wasn't even fully saturated anymore, so he's really focusing on getting his 3rd and 4th base up and running. He saves that vessel. Nice clutch D matrix right there.
Yeah, Sharp is kind of lacking with the Medicam because he keeps losing those medic, and the thing that we have to know is Queen is constantly he will be having those 4 gas advantage and constantly using Plague here and there. I hear lots of Defiler consuming the Zergling, and okay, that's a lucky over that he just found at the 3 o'clock side, but doesn't really matter because Queen has 4 base of saturation, and he will be just start macroing a lot of units from those hatchery moment in soon. And I want to see something like a battlecruiser switch.
Yeah, battlecruisers would be nice, especially with the ultras coming out. They can really pack a punch, and this is a good trade for Queen there. He catches some Marines and medics, but irradiates going down. He gets a defiler with the Marines. That's a nice catch too. Supplies are starting to be in favor of Zerg though, and this is also the point in the game where the 4th base starts kicking in for Zerg. So even though Terran's on something like 9 barracks, at least double starport, you're gonna see the full Zerg flood in just a moment.
Queen Queen is just throwing a couple of Zergling to the top left side to figure out whether Sharp is splitting the map in half, or is he just squeezing all of his resource with a 3 or 4 base macro. And I think I saw the Ultralisk. Maybe not.
Yep, there was definitely at least one Ultralisk out in the map, and what I saw in Sharp's base was no physics lab, so BC's no time soon, if he's even planning to build BC's. He's got a lot of vessels, at least 5 or 6, but all of them are, I think, were plagued, so he can't even really use them right now. He's got to be careful to just make sure they don't get picked off by Scourge and Mutas.
Yeah, Ultralisk already have the bonus armor and the speed upgrade, but I don't see the armor 2 upgrade yet. Okay, those random SCVs are chasing the science vessel to repair, I suppose. But that's a funny thing that we're seeing. But here are a couple of army. Oh, luckily Sharp found out there are the army. About to go for the backstab. Forgot to use one more irradiate on those. Okay, there it is. Using the plague on the defiler. One single lurker did survive.
And that defiler did not have enough energy for Darksworn Plague combo, so Sharp eliminates that threat easily. There's still a ton of vessels left over. It's something like 7 to 9. Irradiate's going off everywhere. The orange cloud goes down, so he may shut down this base for now. But Sharp's really handling this very, very well. He does need to be careful with those vessels. I mean, all of them are plagued right now.
Oh, I mean, Queen, he had 3 months break, but it feels like he didn't take any break. I mean, he's just playing absolutely beast here. He has been, I mean, the 70-minute long of the game, I mean, he had the game on his pace for whole time, and he has been taking the 3rd and the 4th base and then now the 5th base easily and non-stop macro, and now he has a supply lead. I mean, Sharp can't really defend where the army is going towards them, and somehow those Ultralisk Zergling came from the north, and that 9 o'clock expansion is going to take some damage.
Yeah, and actually it looks like Queen has done it. He found a vulnerability at mid-left. He's also got a defiler with this small army, and it's always just a nightmare for Terran to deal with even one single Dark Swarm. Look, the Marine medic is stuck on the right side. Like, they want to attack the 4th base, they want to attack the mid-right base, Okay, he does kill those lurkers, but it's taken him so long to actually go for a counterattack. He's lost 50 supply, and now there's about to be Lings and Ultras outside of his natural. Dark Swarm coming in, and now there's Ultras and Lings and Defiler on the right side, which could clean up this army, and he's at the third base.
And those, oh my god, did he just use the, okay, he used the Irradiate on the Ultras, but the Ultras will be start rubbing on those Marine. Pretty much splash damaging to Sharp's own Marine medic. And those Darkstorm will be connecting. The Darkstorm bridge, Ultras are going to be cleaning up those Sharp's M&M at the 3 o'clock. Well, somehow he took the 12 o'clock expansion as well.
Yeah, he's got so much money, so much macro. He's almost maxed also. He can literally take everything on the map. And this, as I stated, 17-minute mark, 18-minute mark, when Zerg's on 4 gas, this is what happens every game TVZ. Zerg is just everywhere. It's really hard for Terran to defend the Dark Swarm, Ling, Ultra Lurker combo. They can't be everywhere, and Sharp has fallen apart. He's down 60 supply. He has no pressure on the map anymore. He's mining basically on one base, the mineral only, and Queen is moments away from getting out in first place unless somehow Sharp can stage a miraculous comeback with what army he has right now.
And now the 5th gas is going to be saturated soon, and I don't know how Sharp is going to be keeping up the game because every expansion he needs to lift up the command center. Those vessels are trying to do some work, but Ultraless, Zerglings are everywhere. He did use some nice Irradiate on those Ultraless, but this is just overwhelming supply count for Queen. Just the Ultraless, Zergling, Lurker, Defiler, everything is just coming in a flood.
Yeah, well, I gotta say the Radiates have been fantastic from Sharp. He's killing everything. He's killed billions of Lurkers and Ultras with them. He's got something like 12 vessels, and he's used almost all of them consistently. The problem is he just doesn't have the money anymore. Like, he's just not mining, really. He's almost down 100 supply. This may be the killing move. It doesn't look like much for Zerg because it really isn't, but once the orange cloud comes down, all those units are invincible. More Lings and Ultras flooding into the natural. It's just non-stop blue streaming across. And there it is. GG. Sharp types out. And Queen putting on a clinic even though he's been gone for quite some time.
That was absolutely beast. I mean, instead of doing the standard, I guess the current trend of a Zerg versus Terran matchup, you usually get to see Zerg player putting on the 18 third hatchery, even though they start with a 2 hatch layer attack. But Queen was playing the classic 2 hatch Muta, where you go for the layer attack and then having a couple of Zergling with the Speedling into having another expansion. And I mean, his Muta micro and all those decision making, how he wanted to solve the game was just fantastic. And I really hate to remember the game where he's 7 Muta picked off 9 CV. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, it is super annoying. And Sharp even got the best spot at bottom left where you can build turrets in that L formation. Like, that's the spot you want to spawn, really, if you're going to beat Terran. We're going to be going into interview with Queen. I'm curious for his thoughts on how those games went.
ASL Season 14, this is the round of 24 group stage. Group C, we get to see the first player who will be advancing into round of 16. That will be Queen. Congratulations. And every time when we get to see your ZVT matchup, very solid all the time. And from the cameraman showed your face expression that you were smiling. So how do you feel? So Queen said that he kind of has some little bit of a pressure of playing this best of 1 series of this round of 24 group stage. Things just worked out so well, and everything just felt comfortable for him. I mean, the game rhythm and the game pace. Just everything on his side.
대회 때는 잘할 수 있지 않을까라고 했는데 생각보다 잘 풀린 게 기석이가 태태전을 너무 열심히 해서 진이 빠진 것 같아요. 그래서 운 좋게 좀 쉽게 풀린 것 같습니다.
He wasn't having much of a thought of playing the winners match, but he kind of feels like Sharp is somewhat exhausted after playing that long TVT game against Royal. So that might be the case that Sharp wasn't playing well that game on winners match.
끝까지 모든 상황을 다 머릿속에 생각을 하고 있어서
So Queen is saying that
생각한 것 중에 하나라서
he was pretty much thinking of every situation, every different scenario of the game.
저글링을 추가로까지 좀 많이 뽑으면서 승리를 거뒀는데 뮤탈이 나오기 직전 타이밍을 좀 노리셨던
So
것
when he
같아요.
saw it was a 12-pole air tag against Miso, he kind of wanted to have the advantage with the link flat timing.
그거는 좀 당황했어요.
So things just kind of worked out well, doing the free colony trick and having bonus lurgling. And he's also saying he was kind of shocked how strong Miso Mura micro was because he knew he was gonna win the game, but that Mura Scourge aggressiveness, that how Miso was microing there at Queen's main base, it was just amazing, and he was kind of having some pressure there. So any last word? He says things just kind of worked out well for him of this round of 24 group stage. He is.
종족이든 뭐 상대가 누구든 간에 다 이겼었기 때문에
He's not gonna be
그 같고 저만 잘하면은
thinking much of a group nomination because since he had been taking 3 months break because he was studying something else, and he kind of needs to find off his mechanic or his skill. And thank you for the interview, and we'll see you again in round of 16 group nomination.
Yep, really impressive play from Queen today. Imagine if he could even gotten one Muta on the map to kill all those vessels. I mean, it would have just looked absolutely unstoppable. We're going to be going into our losers match. It's Miso versus Royal up next. All right, we are going into our losers match. We get a Allegro ban from Miso. We've got Arkanoid ban again. And we do get Odyssey as our losers match. And actually, this is the matchup that I wanted to see on this map. Because I've talked about how that third base, you can't come down the ramp. To me, it feels like Zerg would get 3 bases for free. They also have the 2 bases in their main, or the 2 gases in their main. So I'm sitting here thinking about, okay, does Zerg really just get 4 gas instantly? And it seems like that's how it's going to play out from my limited experience on the map Odyssey. Wonder what Royal's going to come up with to deal with this TVZ problem.
And it's somewhat understandable for Miso's perspective of choosing the map, like vetoing the map Allegro, and try to save the map Neo Arkanoid or Odyssey, because I mean Neo Arkanoid, if he has prepared something like a concept build, like a strategy build, then maybe it's like a one strike go, and if it works out well, then things are just working out well. But Odyssey, there's lots of bridge where M&M cannot group up together, and they just have to go in a straight line, and Miso probably not probably he wants to use that as an advantage whenever he plays against Terran in the early stage of the game. And we're gonna be moving to game number 4, the losers match, Miso versus Royal on Odyssey.
So in the bottom left, our Zerg player, it is Miso. And in the top right, in the orange, it is Royal. And yeah, I played one game on Odyssey. It was a Terran versus Protoss, and I had the same thoughts about the pathing. Like, my Goliaths just did not want to go together. They were always split up. It was absolute nightmare to deal with carriers. And like you said, there's so many pathways. There's so many hills there. I mean, there's water too. Mutas could definitely pick off Marines easily, and this is going to be an 8 racks.
I smell something. This is a proxy 8 racks into something else, but let's see where he's going to be placing the barracks. Okay, so there's a fan. I think it's a girl. She's the person who's holding the poster. She's a girl. And
wow.
Can you build the barracks? Okay, yeah.
Imagine if he couldn't build a barracks there. Royal would be so tilted. But there's no 9 pull from Miso. He still has option to go for overpull, but probably more than likely he's going to put down a hatchery. Now, this Rax is extremely far forward. Is this going... I mean, this is probably going to be for gas follow-up, right?
I would say this is going through the gas follow-up. And it's because of, like, for example, if you're facing against a 12 hatcher, of course you'll be doing some harassment and try to put down the bunker, or maybe not even putting down the bunker, but you'll be exchanging your marine against with enemy's drone. And while you're exchanging your marine with drone, Miso will be having still enough worker count to make 8 links at a time. So that may be the scariest moment that can be the counter. So that will be the reason why Ro will be putting on the refinery there. And the SCV comes. Miso is blocking. Oh, wait a minute. Miso has 300 mineral.
Oh no. No, he's going to go 3 hatch before pool?
Oh.
Well, this is just going to be game ending. He did. So this 8 racks is going to work out perfectly. There's going to be no counter to this. I thought maybe Miso would suspect something because the CV came from the top side as opposed to the middle bridge, but he didn't. Now he just starts the spawning pool when there's already 2 Marines at his base.
He did cancel the 3rd hatchery. Okay, he's now bringing that drone to start mining, or even pull those drones for the fight. Okay, here are 8 drones total, and this is the go time for Royal. He's putting down the bunker. Bunker is being placed. Let's see how many workers he will be able to pick off. 1.
He gets 1,
2,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, Yeah, that was 6 drone, and now Royal, he hasn't put down the, so he hasn't put down the supply depot yet, so he did put down the factory into bunker and then depot, but he did exchange those marine for the drones, and he does have the supply open to make more SCV production. Okay, he's not going to be canceling the bunker, so that's very good. And the vulture production on the way, starport also goes up.
You know, a lot of time when you go for the 8 racks into vulture play, you don't build a bunker, right? So Miso, okay, he does think something's up. I was gonna say maybe Miso doesn't think that this is 1-1-1, but he does, because there's no natural there, so he knows that something's going on, and he is going to see the first vulture move out.
Okay, now the one thing that we have to also mention is that Royal saw what exactly time Miso put down extractors, so he knows there's nothing to be scared about. The Mura timing, because the lair tech is going to be of course darn slow, and we see the Hydra Den is going on for Miso. Miso is not going to be feeling comfortable, and Royal does have 2 vulture production out on the map. 1 vulture standing at the opponent's natural, 1 vulture standing at his natural, and is making the Wraith production on the way to cut off the hiding Overlord at the 3 o'clock side.
Well, this looks like it's going to be Wraith into potentially drop, vulture drop, and if he drops into the main of Miso, and Miso's going into 2-hatch Hydra, which is what it looks like it could be, like an all-in 2-hatch Hydra, I mean, this could backfire. Vultures aren't exactly the greatest versus Hydras, neither are Wraith. Wraith is going to find that Overlord, so that's going to hurt.
And before that Overlord dies, he's going to be sacrificing that Overlord to figure out whether there's a command center or whatnot. He sees it. Zergling Hydralists are moving out, but Royal was making the research upgrade on the machine shop, so that must be the spider mine, I would say. Royal got supply block. He won't be able to make the dropship yet. Okay, now Miso is pulling back all of his army. I guess he just wanted to scare him out, and now he needs to defend this single Wraith harassment. I heard something being cancelled. Okay, that was a bunker.
He saw the Hydra's retreat, so he knows he's not going to get all in, so he backs up. Or cancels it, I mean, and lays mines instead. So that's a nice cancel there. Saved 75 minerals. Or 100 minerals, actually.
But there are 6 Zerglings at the 12 o'clock site. Somehow he was able to send it through. And, okay, there's a bonus vulture just came out. Starport is blinking. He's putting down the science facility. I guess the Wraith confirms everything. I mean, how much of a drone Miso has and how fast the lair tech was. So he was pretty much was calculating how fast it was, and now he knows. There's multiple ways of defending the Mira. Either you go for super fast vessel, or you go for 3 Wraith cloak. The cloak race to hold off, but okay, here are the Zerglings go for the backstab.
Yeah, this is going to be annoying. The 4 Lings may be able to kill.
Oh, dropship.
How'd that happen? He had 5 Lings versus 3 Marines, and the 5 Lings all die. Meanwhile, none of the Marines ended up dying at all. He does confirm the dropship, so I guess that's nice, so at least he knows that's coming, but those Lings did almost no damage.
And putting down the one sunken colony at the main base. Maybe Miso is just feeling very uncomfortable of defending the vulture harassment, but one of the vulture will get picked up. He sees, okay, he wants to pick, oh, none of the drone died, 1 drone.
That was good defense on the drones. He only loses a couple there to the vultures. Mines are being set up, so the Hydras do need to be careful now. Oh,
ooh.
Is he going to go into the natural?
Well, the sunken colony is there.
Okay, he's
4,
coming in for more drones.
5.
He gets 2 more.
So that's total 5 so far.
Oh, that's painful. And it also buys time for Royal to get his vessel up. He also sees that the Spire just started, so he knows that there's no mutas on the way right now. He can wait to build turrets as long as possible. Just now starting them. Oh, a mine almost connected and killed 2 Hydras.
Yeah, lucky for him, and we see those muta is now gonna be moving out, and we see Royal. He loaded up something.
Yeah, I think it was just more Marine Medic. He only has one barracks though, so maybe it's like a combination of Marine Medic and Vultures. Wraith comes in and tries to get some intel. Will get intercepted by the Mutas, and it is taken out. Now, he did not see that there's actually 2 Scourge mixed in, so Vessel could be under threat if he's not paying attention.
And this is the one thing that I learned when I was playing 1-1-1. Whenever you're playing 1-1-1, you kind of want to have like stop making more of a worker once you have a decent amount of a worker count, like right now, because since you start with the 1-1-1, I mean, you were able to make lots of SCV in early stage of game, and you are also harassing the enemy as well. So compared to enemy's worker count and your worker count, he's always going to be having the worker count lead. So that's one of the reasons why I learned a lesson that you don't want to make too much of SCV, because you want to have this additional barracks super duper fast and swapping into M&M, making tank and then more upgrade and something like that. And we see these 4 Muta is doing some work, picked up some SCV, but losing those Muta.
Yeah, lost a lot of Mutalists there. The Irradiates did a ton of damage, and there's the tank that you were talking about with 1-1-1. He's probably going to wait for about 3 and then go. He's completed his 5 barracks, so he obviously wants to get a couple cycles of Marines also. But just looking at what Miso has, there's really no answer to this comp. I mean, he's got 2 Mutas, 5 Scourge, 6 Hydras. I don't even know if he has a Lurker upgrade. He's going into Hive, but I don't think that's going to be in time. And even if it is, there's going to be upwards of 4, 5, potentially Vessels, which are all going to have Irradiate.
There's the one thing that I'm questioning about is the 9 o'clock. There's a giant square box, but I'm not sure whether that's a hatchery or the old alert being floated over there. But anyways, Miso is trying to keep up the game. He's using those Muta Scourge stacked together to pick off 3 Vessel if he can. Oh yeah, there's a perfect number. 3 Vessel and 6 Scourges, but okay, he hasn't seen it yet.
Well, we're approaching the moment in the game where you're moving out with 1-1-1. He's got 2 tanks. 3rd, I'm sure, is on the way. He's got his 5 racks complete. He's got a few cycles of Marines coming in, and there is 3rd tank, so this is going to be go time for him.
Okay, there were the Scourges at the 9 o'clock. I thought that was a hatchery, but never mind. So here are the 3 tanks that you mentioned. He's moving out, and the Father Mount is still not done yet. And thing that we have to know is these number of assigned vessel. You may think, oh, they're just about the same game scenario, like standard M&M opening into SK Terran. But the one thing that we have to remember is Royal has been saving up those energy for a long time. So that 3 vessel, it's just the same as having 6 vessels in Sin.
Alright, well, I was wondering if he was going to try and knock down these temples. Oh, he's not, actually. He spotted the counterattack, so he's going to back off.
And he sees
or
the
is
bunker. Oh, he's going to be putting down more bunker.
Can you siege the hatchery?
Oh, wow, it can.
What? What? Okay. Well, I didn't know that was possible. That's a bit annoying for Zerg.
I guess we can do that in the future when we are playing against Protoss or Zerg. Or even in TVT.
Yeah, I guess so. I did not expect that at all. Mine, that's, even though it only kills 2 lings, it gives Royal intel that this is coming. That's exactly what he needs. Miso's gonna have to back off for now. I mean, his idea was great. The problem is he just doesn't have the army for it. There's so many Marines and medics and so many Irradiates.
Yeah, nice ready on those Lurker. Those Siege tank. Not sure what exactly he wants to do. Oh, I guess he just wants to deny the Vespene gas. That's all he wants. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just leave the hatchery, because that hatchery, you can still make units over there, but units cannot pass through of the wall. Okay, that's a nice one. Oh my god, that one spider mine just connected onto the Lurker Zergling and pretty much killed lots of units.
Yeah, what, a mine does like 124 damage to a Lurker or something like that, so they don't get one-shotted by the mine, but the Irradiate that was only ticking for even like 2 seconds was enough damage that the mine blew up everything. And once Miso loses this 3rd base, which I think he will, we may see a tap out. Marines are knocking it down. 46 supply, versus 130. We're about to have Terran on more bases. He's taking mid right at the same time. We're going to have an Eraser at the natural potentially. This is it. Miso's on his last leg. There's really no answer to anything that Royal's throwing at him.
Yeah, Eminem ball is coming and Irati.
Oh.
Oh, drones are dying.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there's the GG. So
Royal.
that,
You go ahead.
Oh yeah, Royal is just it's just having strong ballsy play, I should say. I mean, how can you do proxy 8 racks in terms of like playing best of 1 series on a losers match? I mean, if you're doing proxy 8 racks and then opponent goes like overpull, then you're completely screwed. I mean, your proxy 8 racks cannot really do anything in overpull. The Zergling is quite fast and you won't be able to have the factory on time at the main base, but the mind game was very good there for Royal.
Yeah, and Miso got a bit greedy with that third hatch. I thought for sure when the SCV came from the top angle, I thought, okay, he's going to think that there's an 8 racks now because it didn't go through that small bridge, but not the case. But regardless, Royal, he's going to make it into our deciders match, and this sets us up for a rematch from earlier, which was super epic. It's going to be Sharp versus Royal again. Definitely going to be an exciting game. I really want to see what map they pick.
Yeah, it's gonna be another great TVT we'll be seeing soon. And yeah, Royal probably needs to think what mistake. Okay, we will be coming back after the commercial break.
Time for our final game of the night. How do we have a double ban on Nemesis?
Ooh, both of the players does not want to play on Nemesis, but that means the ASL staff will be drawing the map. Either Neo Sylphid and I forgot the other map. Do you remember the other map?
Arkanoid, Allegro, Vermeer.
Oh yeah, Vermeer, there you go. So the decider map, there are 3 maps, Nemesis, Vermeer, and Sylphid, but both of the players decided to ban Nemesis, so that means ASL staff will be drawing the map and it has to be Sylphid.
Well, I think that's smart bans. You get rid of the one weird map and it leaves you 2 standard maps. And Butter was a standard map in my opinion, and they had an epic game. I think Royal feels like he probably was in control for the majority of it and kind of just let it slip away.
I just felt something. We see the ASL jacket. Who's wearing the ASL jacket?
Oh, I see now, yeah.
I have a feeling Royal will be taking down Sharp on this decider match, but that's just kind of like guessing part. But let's see. Players are getting ready here, putting the earphones plugged in, the noise cancellation, and yeah, the last map it is going to be Sylphid 3. That's something that has changed was the 12 o'clock, and they also decided to add the bonus mineral at the natural because of in the past at 12 o'clock. Well, I guess we'll explain more in that after once we go into the game.
Okay, in the bottom right are red. It is Sharp. And in the mid left in the blue, it is Royal. So tell us about that mineral patch that they added.
So in the past, the original Neo Sylphid, the 12 o'clock, the 12 o'clock's position, you're always having the eco advantage for the Zerg, and there's so much of a mineral boost that you can do, like auto mineral boost, and a lot of product players, and including the Terran players, having the difficulty playing against the Zerg player, and they decided to add the bonus mineral field at the natural, and they also decided to change the mineral, the mineral shape at the 12 o'clock side, just like Ascension, the map Ascension. But let's see what that will change in here.
Yeah, we'll see if it will be a factor. You know, generally people open with 3 fact, but maybe with that additional mineral you can sneak in a 4th factory. I was kind of hoping that Royal was going to 8 racks again, but not going to be the case. We do just have standard depot timing. We will wait and see if there's going to be any deviation on the gas timing. Is anybody going to go for gasless, which I know is a common build, but ooh, okay, we've got, I think, Royal or mid-right building additional SCV, whoever that was. Sharp. Yep.
In my opinion, I played against Royal, not that many games, but a couple games before. Every time when there's like a bonus mineral field at the, if there's a bonus mineral field at the main or at the natural, I commonly see Royal usually go for 4 factory build because of the having the bonus mineral field. You can have a slightly lead, but we see Sharp has gone out with the 13 scout, but Royal hasn't gone out for any scout yet.
Just now going out at, I think that was like a 14 scout, which is kind of typical. Meanwhile, Sharp, was it maybe a 13 scout? I think that's a little faster than usual. I've even seen games of Royal where he scouts at 16 and it gives him an even faster command center. So not willing to risk it this time, getting no intel. We do have Sharp's factory already done, and this SCV is doing a good job to block the factory. Remember, Royal had a 225 factory on Butter. This is a 234 factory. So this time around, Sharp is the one with the factory timing lead.
Well, that was quite interesting to see from me to see Royal's build order, because he was making a Marine and then put down the 16 factory. Then that's kind of like the build order of where you do in PvP. But whenever you're playing PvP, you always want to have 0 Marine into 16 Factory, but I guess he just wanted to play safe here. Here are the 2 Marines just being made by Sharp, and we see Royal still cutting the gas for some reason. No, I mean Sharp is cutting the gas.
Yeah, but he still has 100 gas mined. Somehow he was mining it consistently, and actually his command center is going to be slightly later than Royals. Both similarly timed though, of course. The additional Marine is the only difference in supply right now, just a 1 supply lead, and he's going to use these 2 Marines to try and push this barracks back. And 2 Marines, they do have a lot of DPS. Look, it's already done 150 damage, so that Rax does need to be careful.
And I might be able to understand the purpose of that SCV standing at the left side. Is he going to be building the starport? But probably not. That's a 200 mineral. Putting down the factory, okay.
Yeah, I also thought it was going to be a starport, because that's like a starport positioned SCV. You look at that SCV and you're like, that's a starport for sure. But not going to be the case. It is second factory. Both players with 2 vultures right now. No add-on for either side, so 3 vultures from both sides actually. But I think the factory is slightly faster for Sharp. Yeah, it is. And there's no add-on, so he's going to go into 4 vultures versus just 3 right now.
I might be able to know why he put down the factory like that, because when that factory flows to barrack flows to Royal's main base, Sharp might be able to think this is a factory into starport build, because there's no other factory that he can able to get. He won't be able to get to see unless he goes deep inside.
Yeah, that's really smart. I didn't even consider that. Every time I see just one factory, instantly alarm bells go off like, okay, this is starport. However, he may think that something's up because a lot of times you don't get an upgrade this fast. But now he sees the vulture come out, so now he's pretty confident that it's not starport. But I wonder if we do get a glimpse into his main, will he have put down an armory or not?
Well, this time Sharp is having the better optimization here. 48 versus 40. Okay, now 50 for Royal. Both of the players are pretty much evenly working on the optimization. One thing that I have to look at is Sharp's main base. She was mining the gas with 2 SCV, and Royal is mining the gas with 1 SCV. Yeah, it is 1 SCV.
So slightly better gas income this time around for Sharp. Remember the butter game, Sharp was like not mining gas for a long time. He didn't even have his natural gas for a long time, so completely different this time around. Supplies are dead even, 60 to 60. Factories count is dead even, 3 versus 3. There's no hidden 4th factory somewhere. But there isn't a tank. There is a tank out for Sharp right now.
Well, I wasn't expecting of the tank production here. But here are the mass vulture. Sharp has about 12 vultures, but Royal has more than 12 vultures. That tank can do some work, but we gotta remember that tank has to shoot 4 times to kill a single vulture.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful, because if he triggers a mine and the mine doesn't get taken down, well, that mine's going to blow up a lot of stuff. We know there's no mines out on the map just yet, but I'm sure they're coming pretty soon. Both players ramping up their vulture count. Even though there is a tank out for Sharp, he's continuing to build only vultures at this point.
Yeah, just show the single siege tank into having more vulture once again. Maybe that's the type of thing that Sharp really likes to do. Like a previous game, he did spend 100 Vespene gas to make 2 collide, and then he made a lot of vulture, and I guess maybe it's just playstyle. He just makes the single siege tank into mass vulture once again.
We do have multiple add-ons coming on for Royal right now. He's going up to 2. Meanwhile, Sharp still on just 1. Armory being built by both players. Academy also being built by Royal. I'm sure Sharp has one coming too, but I don't see it. But we do see that map control. I guess that both sides are content with sitting on their side of the map right now. But once the scanners come out, I'm sure Royal will be looking to move out and clear some of the vision that Sharp has right now with the mines.
One thing that I can say about this game is Royal's spider mine placements are somewhat passive, I would say. I mean, he could have put down those spider mines forward and have more vision, like map control, but I guess he knows Sharp's playstyle that he really loves to make a lot of vulture. I mean, look at that vulture at the mid right.
Yeah, there's so many vultures. I mean, Royal's got a lot of vultures too, but it looks like Sharp has a little bit more. And both players are building their third base, but Sharp's going to build it on that high ground where it's, you know, less minerals, but it actually has a gas, and that's a cute placement of the tank. It's underneath the tree, which means vulture shots will miss sometimes. That makes the tank even more tanky.
Oh yeah, I don't know who actually found that out, but not sure why, like standing top of the tree or maybe hiding under the tree actually, what is it? The range unit misses his shot. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know, but one of the weird mechanics of StarCraft. Speaking of missed shots, though, did you see that clip on Reddit where Heroes Mutas missed 5 shots on the open ground versus Royal on Butter?
No, did it ever happen?
Yeah, I'll send you the link after.
Yeah, show me show me the link later on.
We got 3 vultures in the main.
4,
He's getting
5. Okay, that was 5 SCV. Worth trade, I would say, because in my opinion, every single vulture has to kill 2 SCV. So 5 vulture and getting all this intel, pretty darn good. But oh my god, that's an open space. These number of a vulture that Sharp had. Now the E's army has to be shifted to the right side, and the C's tank will be sieging. But thing we have to remember, that's not a high ground. C's tank will get picked off. Vulture war happening at the right side. Looks like the blue color is winning. That is Royal.
Yeah, Royal wins the fight and he picks off the tanks, and Sharp has only killed 1 of Royal's tanks. Those tanks that Royal have, I think, are badly injured, but he has killed 3 tanks. Really great trade for him. And this is going to be so hard for Sharp to deal with. Sharp's now down 20 supply. We see Race coming out for Royal also. I did notice that Sharp has a couple Goliaths mixed in, so it shouldn't catch him. That was a big trade right there. He gets 2 for 2, but now he's going to lose.
Oh,
no, he doesn't lose them.
Okay, both of the players will be repairing the C's tank, but the thing is, it's just too much C's tank. I guess this is the downside of having too many vultures in early stage of the game. I mean, we remember how Royal decided to switch over to making C's tank after having the spider mine research complete, and now he has the map control. But now Sharp is just struggling to take the third base.
Yeah, in the third base, well, he's going to long distance mine just the gas, which is obviously important because you want to build tanks and Goliaths, but he has no mineral income from that base. And meanwhile, Royal's had his mineral only for a while, and he's taking a 4th base, and he's in fact transferred SCVs there. So he's 4 base versus basically 2 base with an additional gas from Sharp. Sharp's going to go for a counterattack, but there are mines set up, and Royal's aware of it.
Yeah, Royal's definitely aware of it, and he has plenty of spider mines to defend his natural too. So, okay, Sharp will be deciding to take the bottom left side of the expansion, but now Royal, he seems he's thinking whether he wants to break that third base or whatnot. Yeah, look at how much of a base right now Royal's taking. Look at the speed of the expansion.
Yeah, 4th base is done, and wow, he knows that Sharp was anticipating a counterattack, so Royal instead repositions to bottom left. And if he can even just sit in the center of the map, that means Sharp cannot reinforce bottom left. So that's an isolated base. This could be the end.
He's not reacting of his C's tank. Vultures and C's tanks are moving forward. He's about to siege at the front line. Sieging. Vultures are about to put some spider mines here. SCVs are sacrificing.
There's a counter drop in the main, but I don't think it matters because then that's dead, dude. That's 7 tanks.
Oh,
and there's
Wraith.
also Wraith. Yeah, Wraith cleans that up. And what can Sharp do? He's cut off from his 4th base. He's not mining his nat anymore. He's not mining his 3rd base anymore. He can't do anything.
Look how much of base Royal has now. This is 5 base Royal. Royal is adding another gas at the 12 o'clock expansion, and he also has that another SCV at the 12 o'clock main. Okay, that's a cloak wraith. I wasn't expecting of it.
Yeah, he wants to get rid of that dropship somehow. Oh, I thought Sharp knew about it, but he doesn't, and that's a... Oh, he did! He baited it in! Wow, really nicely done. But still, doesn't do anything about this tank contain outside of his natural. Does not clear the last wraith, so he will unload these Goliaths. And he still doesn't kill the tanks.
Okay, SCV will be... Oh my god, tanks are dying one by one. Vultures are also soaking up the siege tank shot, putting the spider mines. Some of the siege tank will be moving forward. Oh,
I think this is it, Scan. There's too many tanks. He's basically 1 base versus 4. He's down 60 supply. He doesn't have critical mass tanks anymore. There's nothing he can do. A single vulture killing his 3rd base. Look at Sharp's reaction. He knows.
yeah, look at that. Royal is putting down another... He's adding something at the 12 o'clock. I want to see. Oh, okay. That's probably the command center he was building.
Yeah, and what a well executed game from Royal, just picking him apart just like he did on Butter, but this time around actually closing it out. And Royal does barely move on. He's going to get out in 2nd place along with Queen. So well done from him. And it's the power of the jacket, man.
Yeah, it's the power of the jacket. I guess that's a sign that the player will be advancing and will be moving into a winner's interview. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for Sharp. He's probably very upset what he has done wrong. He probably has some lead in the early mid stage of the game with the 3 gas, having the access of mining the 3 gas, but okay. Okay, this was the ASL Season 14 Round of 24 Group C. The second player who will be advancing into Round of 16, that will be Royal. Congratulations. And you played against Sharp 2 times today. One game you lost. One game you had the lead in the early stage and mid stage of the game, but you fell apart at the late game. How do you feel?
제독도에 제가 너무 심취해가지고 좀 유리한 걸 역전당했는데.
Okay, Royal is answering to the question or to that statement where Royal was pretty much having the excitement. Like the game tempo was on his pace. He had all those equal lead, and he was just committing too hard on those high ground siege tank and so on. Like every trade that he has done was bad. So after watching the replay, he realized that he shouldn't be playing like that. So Royal is saying that what's his goal of this ASL Season 14? He said he really wants to win the ASL. He really wants to win ASL, but it's not that moment to think about winning the ASL. He kind of wants to show what he has, like with the strategy, with his skill-wise and stuff. And she was also talking about the group nomination. Royal said he's feeling more comfortable playing Terran vs Zerg instead of playing Terran vs Protoss matchup. Any last word to your fans?
제가 최근에 온라인 성적이 8월달 들어와서 좋아졌는데 그게 이번에 철화대에서 혹사교 훈련을 한번 갔다 왔는데 그때 이후로 이제 승률이.
So people are Royal saying about the moment where his online performance was very great on August. But he thinks he learned a lot when he went to the team house of a CWU. And he also wants to thanks to his student 강덕구. She belongs in tier 7. Pretty much saying thanks to his teammate and rooting for his game and watching his game. Congratulations to making it into round of 16, and we'll see you again in group nomination. And that was it of the ASL Season 14 of round of 24 Group C.
Yep, and here's the rundown of today. Queen taking down Miso. Sharp taking down Royal in a wild game on Butter. Then Queen dominating Sharp on Allegro. We had Royal dominating on Odyssey, and then again Royal dominating Sharp in the rematch on Sylphid, and moving on into the round of 16. And we are done this week, but we'll be back next Tuesday to again start another 3-day series of ASL. Next time around, it's going to be Group D. I actually have to go to Liquipedia and see exactly what that group is, but we haven't seen a Protoss in a while, so I imagine there's going to be a bunch of Protoss waiting next week.
So the next week, it is going to be the Group D. In Korean, we say little brother, 동생, the brother, or I should say friend. Jap Nuda, the amateur player, he aka post his Wiko in the past, he is in Group D. He won the ACS champ title, and then he also played the ASL qualifier in the second day of the qualifier. He made it out of the group, beating YSC, and he made it into this ASL Season 14 round of 24. He will be facing against Soki in the first game. I'm gonna be excited off of ZVZ. I know he's kind of good at ZVZ, I heard, but we know Soki, he always struggles. Like his what is it? There's like the mystery of Soki ZVZ. Like every time whenever he plays ZVZ, he loses. But I want to see how well Jamnuda will be playing Soki in this next week.
Yeah, I remember, what was it, the Soulkey versus Queen series a long time ago, where they were saying, or where Queen was saying Soulkey ZVZ is no good. So that will be cool to see if Dashik can make it in to the next round, taking down Soulkey, but he'd still have to get through one of the Terrans, JYJ and Sok, which are obviously very difficult opponents. Now, looking at the Group E in particular, I'm sitting here thinking, like, who the heck is Ingu? But I know that's Haya's name, right? So that
Ingo.
is Haya for Ingo. Is that
Ingo,
it?
yeah, Ingo.
Okay.
Ingo is another word of the what is it? The breed or type of fish, like what's it called?
Okay.
You know, there's a Pokemon. There's a fish like the red and a white one.
Yeah.
Forgot the name of it. Well, I watched
Magic.
I watched the Pokemon in Korean, so I don't know in English. I think it's a Magikarp.
Yeah, Magikarp. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's his nickname.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but it is cool to see Haya back, because I know a lot of people in the foreign seed did like Haya, especially his celebrations. And even though there's no Protoss in Group D, there is Protoss in Group E and Snow, and then 2 in Group F, which is Free and Harangi.
Oh, Horangi also in season 14. I didn't know. Yeah, he's always he plays really really well. I mean, whenever he plays the qualifier, somehow he always make it through.
Yeah, Harangi's definitely a tough opponent. I think he's very good PvT, and looking at his group, I mean, I don't know if he can get through Rush, because Rush is beast mode, but Mong, I could see him getting through Mong. And then Free, I mean, Free played very well a few seasons ago, but I haven't seen him in a while either, so I think there is definitely a chance that Harangi could make it. But what about Group E? We've got Snow, Haya, Shine, and Jaedong. You got any favorites there?
Did I hear JYJ there?
No, JYJ's Group D.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah, JYJ is in Group D. So Snow, JD, Ingo, and who's the fourth?
Shine.
Shine. I'm gonna be expecting Shine might be making out of the group and a second player out of the group.
Really? I was not expecting to hear that, because you see names like Jaedong and you're like, well, for sure he's going to make it out.
Well,
But
I mean,
you really like Shine?
Well, I mean, it's ZVZ. You will never know, and we know Snow's PVZ is always lacking. I mean, he did perform badly from the previous season, but I'm not sure how well he's going to be performing this season.
All right, well, I'll be looking to that in Group E. Maybe Shine can do it. I mean, he's a very dangerous opponent. But that's it for us. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, so we will see you there.